All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into Lemon Man and Sunrise Bites. And what a story it is. We're talking about this huge two-book saga about a man who loses an entire decade of his life for a crime he didn't even commit. You've got it all here. A deep-seated conspiracy, a love story that comes out of nowhere, and a fight for redemption that totally redefines what it means to protect your family. And this one line, man, it gets right to the absolute heart of the story. This perfectly captures the stakes for our main guy, Cameron Cross. See, for him, it's not just about clearing his name anymore. It's about defending a future, a whole world he never in a million years thought he'd have. So, here's how we're going to tackle this. We're going to follow the classic hero's journey to really break down his story, and we'll watch Cam's transformation through these 5 distinct acts, from a totally broken man to a family's ultimate protector. So, every hero's journey starts in what they call the ordinary world, right? Well, for Cameron Cross, his ordinary world is a cage. After 10 long years in prison for a murder he had nothing to do with, he's finally out, but he is so not free. And this is where we meet our 2 main players, and wow, they are total opposites. So on one hand, you've got Cameron, the Lemon Man, just hardened by a decade of pure injustice. And then on the other, you have Lyla Mahon, the owner of Sunrise Bites, who's described as pure summer and hope. She's literally a walking, talking symbol of everything he's lost. And you know who else has a take on all this? Delilah, Lila's super protective terrier. Her paw journal entries are just priceless. They're witty, they're funny, and as you can see right here, she's got Cam's number from day 1. She smells the guilt on him immediately. Yeah, you knew this was coming, right? The past just does not stay buried. When Lyla herself gets threatened, that's Cam's call to adventure. He can't hide from it anymore. He has to turn around and face the very thing that stole his life in the first place. And wow, this conspiracy is a real tangled web. So let's rewind a decade. It all kicks off with the murder of a guy named Big Tigga, and Cam gets framed for it using faked surveillance tapes. And if that's not suspicious enough, his best friend and lawyer, Reggie, turns up dead, which is, conveniently ruled a suicide. And now, all these years later, the past comes roaring back when Lila's threatened, forcing Cam to finally dig up the truth. So you gotta understand, this was not some simple frame job. As all the pieces start clicking into place, it becomes crystal clear this thing goes all the way to the top. I mean, we're talking about the district attorney, the precinct captain, even the mayor's wife and daughter, all pulling the strings to keep the truth buried. Okay, so now we get to the climax of the first book, what's known as the ordeal. This is it. This is where Cam has to face his biggest test, and it leads to this kind of symbolic death of his old self and a rebirth into a brand new purpose. And then, bam, through this series of just unbelievably dramatic events, the truth just explodes out into the open. The real tape surfaces, proving Cam was innocent all along. Tallulah Mailer confesses on the stand, and the whole conspiracy comes crashing down. And get this, right in the middle of all the chaos, Lyla gives birth to their son in an alleyway. His family is literally forged in violence, but it gives him the ultimate reward, a powerful new reason to live. And this is the moment his transformation is basically sealed right here in Hospital Chapel. He's terrified he's going to lose Lyla after the birth, so he makes this blood oath. He just completely lets go of that old life, that quest for revenge, and dedicates his entire being, his very last breath, to protecting his new family. But right when you think they've finally found some peace, the story takes a turn that I promise you nobody sees coming. The second book, Ashes to Oaths, doesn't just pick up where we left off. It completely changes the rules of the game. Now, this is a really interesting choice by the author. The sequel isn't just what happens next. Nope, it is a full-on parallel universe. This whole multiverse idea lets this story explore how these characters we know and love react when they're thrown into totally new dangers. It's a different reality, all shaped by different choices. So, fast forward 2 years, they've built this peaceful life. And then, boom, a bomb goes off right outside the cafe. And this is no random act of violence. It's a message. It's a direct attack on the sanctuary Cam has built for his family. And it forces him right back into the role of the protector he swore he would be. But here's the thing. This time, Cam's fight is different. It's not the same. He's not just running on pure rage anymore. Now he's guided by this newfound faith, this voice that he's sure is God, constantly reminding him of his oath. He also ends up in this cheeky alliance with his old enemy, Tallulah Mailer, as they try to figure out a new mystery connected to Lila's supposedly heroic Uncle Ken. And all of this brings us to the final act, the resurrection. This is where Cam has to face the ghosts of his past, and I mean, some of them quite literally, to lock down his family's future and really complete his transformation into a whole new kind of hero. That map from Uncle Ken, it leads them to a cemetery and to a discovery that just changes everything. Remember Reggie, his best friend, the one whose murder helped frame him 10 years ago? Well, he might not be dead after all. And that suggests the original betrayal was way deeper and way more personal than Cam could have ever imagined. So at that very same cemetery, Cam comes face to face with an old rival, and man, his growth is just on full display. The old Cam, he would have been all rage, all revenge. He would have fought alone. But the new Cam, he's guided by his faith, by his promise. He acts with this cold, calculated precision. He's not a vengeful convict anymore. He's a protector. And you better believe Delilah is there to witness the final takedown of Decembero's whole crooked empire. And like she says, it's not about brute force anymore. It's about how smart Cam is and, quote, human lady genius, using information like a weapon to make the whole corrupt system go viral. Pop roofs. And just like that, the Lemon Man is completely transformed. He's a husband, a father, a protector. And the story leaves us with this final, really powerful thought. When your fight is for your family, redemption isn't some finish line you cross. It's a promise. A promise you have to wake up and keep every single day.